All right, friends, it is now time for nobody's favorite part of the show. This is the worst of the week. This week's worst of the week can only be The Book of Henry. Now, if you've heard about this movie, you have heard about it as the movie that derailed Colin Trevorrow's career. Colin Trevorrow is the director of The Book of Henry. He's also the director of Jurassic World, a movie he came off of with a lot of goodwill in Hollywood because that movie had done so well. So much so that Disney hired him to helm the third entry in the new Star Wars trilogy. Then Book of Henry came out, and Disney went, "No, you, sir, have been replaced." And at the time, I felt like, well, that feels sort of odd. I know there's a growing contingent on the internet of reviewers and things that didn't like Jurassic World. I thought it was perfectly fine. But I wasn't sure what the Colin Trevorrow hate was. And then I saw The Book of Henry. If ever a movie could derail someone's career, it's this one, folks. Directed by Colin Trevorrow and also written by Greg Hurwitz, who wrote a good deal of Arrested Development. Oof, this movie. So here's the deal. This movie centers around a young boy who is super smart. And when I say super smart, I mean like Reed Richards levels of hyper intelligence. He's super smart. He runs his whole household. His mom is Naomi Watts, and she does a waitressing job and plays a lot of video games and lets her son like figure out all the family finances, play the stock market, discipline his younger brother, discipline her, which is really weird. It's really weird. And then very abruptly in this movie, this kid finds out that he has a disease and drops dead. And the movie is, at this point, very emotionally manipulative, definitely trying to make you cry. And you can see where, okay, I guess the rest of this movie is going to be that Naomi Watts has to deal with putting her life back together in big, profound ways after the loss of her son and like become an adult and all of that kind of a thing. But folks, we're forgetting one thing. This movie has also introduced a neighbor young woman who Genius Boy is convinced, Henry, is convinced is being abused by her father, who is the local sheriff, who's played by that bald dude from Breaking Bad. Are you with me so far? So Henry has left his mother a CD that when she listens to it, instructs her on what's going on with the neighbor and describes to her step by excruciating step how to murder the dad, including where to buy a gun, how to lure the sheriff out to the woods, etc. And then Naomi Watts will occasionally say things like, "Shouldn't we go to the police?" And then on the tape, Henry, having anticipated this, will say, "No, we can't go to the police. He's the sheriff, dum-dum." And she'll say, "What about child services?" And he'll be like, "His brother's the head of child services." It is insane. I don't understand. It's one of those movies that's like, who is this for? And also, who wrote this and thought every level of plausibility fails. Right? Because this recording is so perfectly timed at one point that she takes money from an ATM to like buy the gun. And she's like, "Well, I only got $300. What am I going to do?" And then the recording immediately says, "Now you got to go to another ATM so you can get another $300. And so she starts walking. And then the audio recording says, "Turn right." And she does. And it's all timed perfectly. And it doesn't make any sense. That said, Naomi Watts is fairly good in this. She does the best she can with what she's given, and she's certainly game, but oh my goodness gracious, this is a bargain basement terrible movie. 2 stars.